is the background for the text that we read in John 21. This is, of course, one of the best known of the resurrection appearances of our Lord. It's when Peter and his companions have been out all night, fishing, catching nothing. And then the voice of the stranger on the shore telling them how to throw it on the other side. And they catch such a haul, only this time the nets don't rip. And then, of course, it's the beloved disciple who recognizes Jesus. It is the Lord. And so Peter runs in, races in from the boat. And this encounter that we read about in John 21 that we all know so well has, as Steve and I have both mentioned to a large number of you, an occurrence of that important Greek phrase for the charcoal fire. Because when they get in with the haul of fish, our Lord has already had his fish, and they're roasting on the charcoal fire. And the earlier occurrence of the charcoal fire in John's Gospel is found in John chapter 18, where Simon Peter was warming himself by a charcoal fire in Jerusalem when he denied our Lord 3 times. And so, just as he was questioned 3 times and gave into fear, so here, at this place, and here in John 21, when they had finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" And he said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." And he said to him, "Feed my lambs." A second time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" And he said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." And he said to him, "Tend my sheep." And he said to him the third time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" And Peter was grieved because he said to him the third time, "Do you love me?" And he said to him, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." And Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep." So tend my sheep, feed my lambs, feed my sheep. This is what our Lord did. He didn't just reinstate Simon Peter by asking him those 3 questions. He really restores him to that position of primacy that he had assigned to him at Caesarea Philippi, where we're going to be in a couple of days. So, the charcoal fire, the 3 times he denied, now the 3 times he affirms. The fact that all 3 times Jesus responds in mercy by renewing the authority that was given as a trust to Simon. But it's significant too, as many of you know, I think, that the Greek reveals a deeper dimension. Because the first time Jesus asks Peter, "Do you love me?" what is the term? It's agape. It's basically agapes me, which is, do you love me with that unconditional love characteristic of God, to which Simon Peter responds, what? Philes te. You know that I love you, but he uses the weaker word philes, which is the love of friendship. And so, the second time Jesus asks him again, with that Greek expression, agapes me, do you love me? And that time, Simon responds again, philes te, you know that I love you, but as a friend. And then the third time, what does our Lord say? Philes me, do you love me as a friend? So it's not just that Jesus asked him 3 times, it's the third time he asked, was really a heart-searing sort of inquiry that called for Peter to really examine his conscience and to speak from the heart. Here was the grace of humility that really opened the door to a much greater grace. So that it's one thing to get a new name. You are rock, and on this rock I will build my church. It's a much greater grace to be given this humility so that you recognize your own limited capacity to love our Lord, so that he can give to us that divine capacity to make up for all that we lack. So as Catholic Christians, we celebrate this site from the depths of our being, because it isn't just a new name, it isn't just the title, the keys, the prime minister. It really is the ministry of unity that we have witnessed here in the Holy Land just these last few days, with the successor of Peter coming to feed the sheep and tend the lambs. So as we reflect upon these great graces, we can also prepare our hearts for Mass. Steve, would you like to share your notes?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hahn. Just so you'll know, this is the place where that happened. Inside of this church is built over the rock. That is from tradition the place where Jesus Christ had to eat the bread of Christ. Called the Mensa Christi, the table of the Christ, the table of our Lord, where he prepared it. The water at the time of Christ and even 5 years ago came up to the top step right here. Now look how far down it is. So at the time of Jesus, that rock was right on the water, lapping at the rock, and he called them in, and that's where he fed them. So make sure that before we leave, you go in and get a picture and you touch that rock, and make sure you at least see the sea. Because this is where you're here today. You are for the first time. For those of you who are here for the first time, you are really for the first time walking in the footprints of Jesus in this place.